It's the internet, you're busy, let's do this. This is the Razer phone, and that's what we're taking a look at today. Um, it is the first phone from Razer. The company has never had one of these things before. What it did was it decided, hey, we want in on that game. And the reason they do that is because Razer has, over the last few years, tried to establish itself as a major lifestyle brand for gamers. They are always looking for new ways to expand beyond this gaming peripheral manufacturer sort of segment that it started in, where it was making keyboards and headphones and things like that. It wants to be a part of every gamer's life. And there are few technologies that take over our lives like a smartphone. So that's what Razer has made, and I think it has what it takes to maybe be someone's like everyday phone. I'm certainly impressed with it so far. So what I'm going to do is, I think in this video is I'm just going to kind of go over some of the features that I really like. We'll take a closer look at it here and there. The big things are first this awesome screen. So the screen it's 5.7 inches. It's 1440p. And it's really incredible. So the big thing here is that it runs at 120 frames per second. It's a 120 hertz refresh rate on the screen. That is double almost every other phone on the market. What that means is you get a super smooth look, and we'll take a look at it. Here, I'll just do it right here on this one. And you can't quite see it. I'm hoping I'm going to try to splice in some slow motion videos so you can kind of see just how smooth that is. I think it's really cool. It makes for a really great user user experience. So you get really smooth scrolling on apps and on the web, and, all throughout the interface, all throughout the menus, and it just makes it for like this really buttery smooth reading and navigating experience. I really appreciate it. You don't have to run it at 120 frames per second. You can drop it down to 90 or 60. That'll save you some battery life. I think Razer is saying, hey, 90 is probably the default. That's where we think is the best range for, battery life and that getting that smooth effect. But this smooth effect is kind of worth it. I'm running it at 120 right now, and like I said, I'm really appreciating it. So some of the other things about the screen, though, is it also has what Razer is calling Ultra Motion, TM, trademark there. Ultra Motion is essentially the smartphone version of G-Sync or FreeSync. If you're not aware, G-Sync is NVIDIA's technology that enables a monitor to wait for the computer to send a fully rendered frame before the monitor attempts to to display that frame. That's a really complicated way of saying it eliminates screen tearing without having a lot of lag, without having to go to VSync. And it's awesome. It's really cool. It's a game-changing technology on the PC. People are also waiting for this technology to start coming into regular TVs for the family room. So everyone's kind of waiting for that. Meanwhile, Razer is just going to throw it, a similar technology right into its phone. So even when you can tell like an app is struggling to keep up with what the phone is capable of, you never get that ugly tearing, which is something I don't like. It's one of the reasons I love a G-Sync monitor. Just dropped the phone. Some other things. It also has the wide color gamut, so you're going to get maybe like brighter whites, deeper blacks, more like reds that stick out in a way that's like even more impressive than normal. It's not. I don't think it's quite HDR10, like 10-bit HDR or anything like that. But wide color gamut is kind of getting on that path, and really what it does is just it makes for a screen that pops visually, not just because of that smoothness. In addition to the screen, some other things that have blown me away so far, these speakers. So if you look at the phone, you could see that it has a pretty wide bezel on each side if you hold it horizontally. And I mean, these days we look at the Galaxy S8 Plus or something, or the iPhone 10, and these phones have completely removed the bezels. The screens go all the way to the edge, and that's not happening here. And the reason is because they want to treat this as a device for gamers. so you can hold it by these bezels. But what that means is Razer had a bunch of extra room to put 2 front-facing stereo speakers up front. And I'm not always one for speakers on a phone, but these speakers are phenomenal. They are like super impressive. It's going to be impossible to get that over the video. When I loaded up the Dolby app on here to enable Dolby Atmos, which is something you could do on here, they have a demo for some of the like just to get some ideas of what Dolby Atmos can do. It could do like vertical scaling of sound in 360, and it does it with stereo speakers. You know, it's much better if you have a Dolby Atmos system that has like 7.1 or whatever, but it can also, it's positional audio, and it can work with stereo speakers. I've seen this demo or listened to it a couple times before. Once at E3 with a speaker bar, that's kind of unfair, from Sound Blaster X. I mean, that is just stupid expensive. It's like $6,000. And that blew my friggin' mind at E3. Like the bird way up in the tree, like it sounded like it was just like right up there, right above me, and that blew my mind. And that was at a crowded E3 floor. I've also used some headphones with it. Xbox One X supports Dolby Atmos. I've been trying it with that system. It's impressive. This is right up there. Like, this is like, you know, you put these 2 speakers, you face them right at you, and you watch the demo, and then it like does like the 360-degree sound, and the bird absolutely sounds like it's flying around your head, and you feel it tingling in the back of your ears, and it's just this bizarre and impressive sort of listening experience that I've really come to appreciate. Now, I'll get into the design, but I want to point out, like, when Razer makes something, and I think this is something a lot of companies are starting to realize, but Razer caught on before most, they make it for gamers. This isn't like the old days where when you would make something for gamers, it would come out looking like the NVIDIA Engage or the Sony, excuse me, Xperia Play, I think it was called. These are devices like, and these are just like phone examples, but you know, this runs the complete, you know, runs the gamut from like every kind of device you can imagine. A device for gamers is supposed to be, you know, like, oh, it's got to have video game controls, and it has to have like a way to play like very specific exclusive games or whatever. And like if it's the NVIDIA Engage, it has to have cartridges. It's nuts. That stuff is insane. Razer is ostensibly making a phone for gamers, but it's really it's a smartphone, and it has features that gamers will appreciate. You know, I come from PC gaming, and so I know the benefits of a 120 hertz refresh rate. I think most people, that's not going to mean a lot. Wide color gamut, I'm going to appreciate that. More games are supporting that, and getting games to support that is really impressive these days. You know, and Ultra Motion, that is like, you know, basically the NVIDIA or FreeSync technology. This is something that has changed gaming on PC for so many people. We are aware of this stuff, and we're going to, like, when it's built into a phone, we're going to take notice. That goes for the speaker system, I think, as well. What that means is when I get into the design, and what I like about the design is I think it looks really cool. It's big and blocky, and it stands out from the iPhones and the Galaxies of the world. I like the power button slash fingerprint sensor. It's an actual button you can press, so you can just easily turn it on. You know that, excuse me, you know that you activated it. So it's not like this guessing game where, like, oh, is my thumb actually going to get red, and waiting for the haptic feedback. It has that too, but it's a button, so you know you pressed it. And then I really like the volume buttons, like where they are. Like here, look at this. Look at the profile of this phone. They're right here, and that looks like it's pretty far down from the top, right? Like normally you're trying to be up here, like turning it down. What I noticed is when you hold it with one hand, the right hand, my middle finger here just perfectly rests right there on the volume buttons. It's incredible. I love it. And my thumb is still here to kind of get everything. And I just kind of didn't realize that this was happening at first. At first I was like, oh, these volume buttons, this is way too low. I got to like reach down here. I got to move my fingers. And then to put 2 and 2 together, I'm moving my damn fingers that are sitting right on top of the... It was dumb, but the phone is smart. I appreciate that. Anyway, what all this is to say is that when you build a device with gamers in mind, you can use technologies that other people might not notice or fully appreciate, and you end up with a device that is just all around really good for a lot of people. Gaming, I point to things like this happens in software, like Discord. like, how long did we go with shoddy voice communication, like chat communication, all these weird enterprise tools like Skype and Skype for Business and Hangouts, all this really garbage software. And then when someone goes and says, okay, let's build it for the gaming audience, we end up with Discord. When you build something specifically for this audience, well, a lot of times we end up getting something that works, because gamers aren't going to just like be like, oh, this is how it is. They'll move on, they'll yell. We're very vocal, and I think that's what leads to some getting really great products. And I think Razer's tried to stay on the edge of this, offering the Razer Blade laptops, which are just really great laptops that, you know, some of them happen to be really great gaming devices as well, and it's because they build these laptops with gamers in mind. The same thing applies here. Now, when it comes to actually playing games, I don't know if I care about mobile games anymore, period. That's just where I'm at. I don't really play them at all these days. I think I was playing Fire Emblem for a little bit and I fell off that. I had Animal Crossing, I downloaded the APK and installed that, and I haven't really played it much. There's some games that take advantage of the features on this phone, like World of Tanks, Gear.Club, and like Titanfall Assault. And I'll just go play Titanfall 2. That's my jam. I don't need these weird mobile games. They don't work for me anymore. That said, this is a great gaming device in that, and I'll have to cut footage of this into there. I've been using this to play my PC games because a couple things. Those front-facing speakers, this awesome screen, do a really great job of broadcasting the video and audio over the Moonlight app, which uses like NVIDIA's game stream stuff. So if you have an NVIDIA graphics card in your computer, you can do this. You install Moonlight for free from the Google Play Store. You run it, you get it set up with your computer, and then you have access to all your games and Steam, and you can run it in like big picture mode on your phone. And I have just really been digging that. There's a couple of cool clips you can get to connect your phone to your controller. There's some for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 controllers. 8BitDo makes them, and their controllers often have 2 analog sticks and all the shoulder buttons and stuff like that. And you get all that stuff hooked up. You hook up the controllers via Bluetooth to the phone, and I'm playing Divinity Original Sin 2, Hitman, the new DLC, and I'm playing it on this device, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is like a really good handheld now. And the screen and the speakers really lend itself to that, but so does its like body and its design. The symmetrical like speakers keeps it so like when you're looking at it, you don't feel off kilter, you don't feel off center, and you can also hold the phone in the clip right in the center, because even though the volume buttons are like right there, it doesn't matter. They don't get in the way because the blocky shape of the phone causes it so that the clamp sort of just like hangs over the buttons and isn't actively pressing them the whole time. And then on the other side, the power button, the fingerprint button, it's flush with the system. So unless it feels like skin, it's not going to even like say, oh, you're trying to activate it with a fingerprint, and then you can't even press it in because it's flush. So you have to like actually like get your thumb in there and just dig it in there, and that works. That gets it open, but like the clamp doesn't even affect it. It's awesome. So yeah, I'll probably do more on that just because I really like using my phone this way, and I'll have more to say on that in a little bit. There are some things I don't like, and I'll be doing a separate video on that. No volume, no headphone jack is the big thing. There's a couple others, but overall, boy, is it a cool phone. It is out now. Or it's shipping now. You could buy it now. You go to the Razer store, Razer.com, I think. Actually, I got the URL right here. I'll just give it to you guys. Razerzone.com/mobile/Razer-phone. Razer. That's Frazier's alter ego with tattoos and a mohawk. Razer. I am going to wrap this up. Like I said, it's available now, $700. You can get it from the website. You can order it. But you can also go to, like, I believe they're selling it at Razer stores. I think there's one in San Francisco. There might be one in New York. And yeah, as of now, I'm feeling like I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to spend some time with it. I'm going to try to give it 2 weeks and I'll have a full review. For now, though, it's really kind of blowing me away. I really like the features I listed here, especially, are really doing it for me. I mean, it's also got like a Snapdragon 835 and a ton of RAM and memory. It's just super snappy. It's like significantly faster than my Galaxy S8 Plus that I was just using. So that is a relief. That's a huge thing. So I'm happy with that. It just feels like a great phone. And damn if that's not shocking to be like the first phone out of Razer is a great phone, but it is. So yeah, that's it. That's me. The Razer phone, $700. Order it now. Thanks for watching. I'll have more of this device coming very soon, especially just from the gaming perspective. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.